Welcome to another week, another episode of IBG Weekly. I am your host and founder of Iron Blood Games, Achille Rangamohotige, and today I'm joined by Stanny.
Hey man, what's up?
And before we begin, a quick update. We completed the tech demo on time. However, we did have to cut some features for now, but we will continue to build on the tech demo until we get to a point that we are happy with it to show it to the public. The reason we did this tech demo in such a rush was because we wanted to actually somehow enter the Google Accelerator program and submit it within time. So May 19th, we worked really hard and we got a build ready, everything works, but we had to cut some of the features of what we defined the tech demo to be. So what happens next is that we will just keep building on this tech demo until we get to that final output that we wanted for the tech demo to see if the game is really fun and feasible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we'll keep doing, and probably not by the end of this month, but somewhere in the start to mid of next month, this tech demo should be completed.
Yeah. And also our game still stands actually. It's 2 against 1, but I still want a single game. And then after we 2 games, you guys literally
that was pretty great. Yeah.
You guys really humped me in the back but the game still stands. I'm actually waiting until you guys release the final one so I can just take on.
We still haven't implemented ship abilities, and we wanted to implement one more ship class. So we want to see like the dynamic, what happens when 2 different classes of ships go up against each other. So until that is complete, we don't consider this tech demo complete as a full tech demo. So we'll be pushing ourselves.
But it was very fun actually. Even though it was like a tech demo, it didn't feel like a tech demo, to be honest. Playing that, it was really fun. And I can't see what's the final is going to be. It's going to really blow all the people's mind.
Yeah,
it's actually coming from a person who hasn't involved in that project completely, just from an outsider's perspective. It's like really mind blowing. Yeah.
So the next steps is going to be we will pretty much finish up the tech demo, and we'll have to have a big discussion how we're going to go forwards from what we've seen. So yeah. Good stuff coming. We hit a milestone. It's pretty cool. So anyway, today we have some topics. There has been some interesting news that came out in the games industry. We have Sony making a lot of announcements, and also they have revealed to a very closed subsection of the games industry journalists. They've shown off the capabilities of the upcoming PS5. So
like a gist of it.
So they showed off like a bunch of its performance and stuff. Then also Sony is taking the Marvel Studios approach to games applications, and we'll discuss about that.
Game adaptations, not application. Games are basically applications.
Oh yeah.
Hey, not allowed.
Of Us 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima still PS4 bound as Sony reaffirms support for current gen. So that's good news actually, to see that Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PS4 as well. And EA has shown off their next generation of Frostbite engine, so now everyone knows what their studios are going to be working with in the near future. And of course, a very exciting bit of news came out where George R.R. Martin is in works with From Software on some kind of game. So it's some RPG game, and it's pretty exciting news. We'll be discussing these topics now. So Let's start with Sony actually, and so we have Sony's PS5 rumors. So we've seen the kind of performance we can get, and it's pretty exciting. So, Stanley, what do you think about that?
Well, actually, seeing that video, like a clip of from that journalist who posted it on Twitter, it's like really mind blowing. And I think that PS5 and every other next gen consoles like Xbox Two or anything like it's really going to push, uh, you know, uh, the industry further. Because basically people don't have to spend, you know, $2,000 to $5,000 on a gaming PC. Rather than they can just have a next gen PS5 console or Xbox Two, and it has all the capabilities that like a simple gaming PC would have. 60 FPS, ray tracing technology, fast loading times, and every other thing's just packed in one. And I think that this kind of thing that can, it like accessible for everybody is going to be awesome in general. So that's my opinion on that. Yeah, so basically that's what seemed to be on the shelves lately. Yeah.
I just feel really bad for Bhupati, who has he bought a PS4, but just around the time he bought the PS4, he went broke and he hasn't been able to really buy any games for it. Now the new generation is coming, and I was like, I still stand by my advice. I told him complete his PC build.
Well,
He would have been
well,
happy.
actually,
All I'm just gonna say, because you bought the machine, but you ain't got the games. Sorry, boo.
exactly. It's like buying a gaming PC and just playing Minecraft on it, man. Just doesn't like align with the flow that we are supposed to be looking
Yeah.
for.
And but does this actually mean that for people now that they know that the new console generation is on the spoke, is it a good idea for people who are considering buying a PS4 to buy a PS4? They could just wait until the new console comes out and just buy that.
Well, this is the thing. So since Sony like kind of confirmed that PS4 is still alive until for some years to come, and there are rumors that PS5 is going to be $100 more expensive than a PS4 on its launch. So it's pretty much safe to say
$600, was it?
Yeah, like something around 400, 500. I'm not pretty sure at the time of the launch, but I'm trying to say is that it is pretty much safe to assume that people can still afford PS4. Meanwhile, to wait until PS4's price drop, and once the prices drop, and we can just kind of will be able to afford a PS5, because we already know that there's not going to be another PS5 sub edition like PS4 Pro, because it's going to come with all the features it needs, like 8K and
it'll have 8K support and all that.
Yeah. So I'm like pretty much happy to know that Sony has taken this sort of approach by learning from all these mistakes that they made with PS4.
Yeah.
Rather than having separate sub editions, just one console packed with all the powerful stuff it needs. And yeah, I think that it's safe to assume that now just buy the PS4 if you want to, and just wait it out until PS5 price kind of drops off, so you will be able to it's going to take years. Yeah, so basically I think that PS4 is still it's still breathing. So yeah, I buy a PS4. Yeah, if you guys looking for one.
And like, speaking of games coming for the PS4, we have the confirmation that the Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima are coming to PS4. So
yeah, but you forgot the
titles coming in, right?
Yeah, but also you forgot the important part, which is like PS5, which is the important thing is PS5 is going to support backward compatibility online multiplayer, which people with PS3 or PS4 can play with PS5 users, which is kind of awesome,
Yeah.
But what we really need to see is that the cross-platform capabilities, cross-platform gameplays, and people who play like Warframe and Apex Legends,
I think
people
that should be
have
fine, right?
Yeah,
that's up to the developers, I think, at that point for when they roll out the updates for PS5 and all that. I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
it won't be it won't be problematic.
Well,
What I'm
yeah,
actually curious about is, so it's backward compatible. A PS5 player can play with a PS4 player.
yeah.
Um,
It's gonna
honestly,
bound the community.
yeah,
It's gonna, yeah,
it's gonna be great, because it's like, just because I don't have a PS5 doesn't mean I all of a sudden I can't play with my friends who moved on to the PS5. So that's always
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah. That's always nice.
So yeah, it's really good to see that Sony is actually doing these consumer-friendly practices,
Yeah,
rather than before. They even like backward compatibility was such a huge deal for them to roll out, and now they're like
yeah, yeah.
backward compatible out of the box, and yeah, you can even play with your PS4 friends.
PS4 buyers, yeah.
Yeah, it's really
But
great. Now they're
what
really
players are actually,
pro-consumer.
yeah, but what players are actually expecting is like, from my end, my opinion is like, I expect like cross platform. You have an Xbox, right? And I have a PS4, and we really need to play together. So, but we can't because,
Yeah,
y-
maybe
yeah,
we don't know. This is up to the
yeah,
major companies, but
exactly,
the developers have always said that it isn't an issue in tech. Cross compatibility is just a matter of like literally a switch being turned on if they allow it. I mean, if Sony and
exactly.
Xbox and PC, well, PC does, no one in PC really cares. um,
E-
it's always Sony and Xbox that are like they're butting heads, so you don't usually see the cross play between those platforms. And it's
yeah,
developers have said it's up to them. If they say yeah, they just need to just flip open a
push the
switch
switch.
and
So
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
and
why they're like, yeah, they're like holding back.
they're
Yeah,
holding back because
so
the worry is that the people won't differentiate between the platforms. They're really trying to, I think, figure out. This is another topic anyway. We're going off topic, but the
yeah,
main issue is that they are thinking like the the competition between the platforms will be like a gray zone, and people won't have a reason to buy the PS5 over the Xbox or the Xbox over the PS5, because people will be like, it doesn't matter what console I have. My friend, so long as I can play with my friends. There's no way to really. They always took that as a unique point. People on
yeah, yeah, yeah,
PlayStation
yeah.
play PlayStation. It's like a closed garden.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. I totally agree with you.
anyways, we
Hmm.
got PlayStation Productions may taking the Marvel Studio approach to game adaptations. Could you like enlighten all of us?
Well, basically, it's explained in an article that I read. It's company like Marvel and everything. They basically sell the license to a movie production company, right? It's basically like, instead of licensing the IPs out studios. So basically, PlayStation actually skips this step, and it's gonna keep the projects like internal, not just Sony, but to the PlayStation brand. It's basically like what Marvel does. They, rather than selling, Marvel actually made a mistake like selling Spider-Man, X-Men to the Fox, and
Yeah,
since nowadays it's just basically a Disney board of every company that it has, so
yeah,
it's basically not a big issue. So, but with PlayStation and Sony being on the edge, and it's going to be awesome because since PlayStation has their own production company, they will be working with the allocated studio closely, and it can make the video game adaptation according to the community's expectation.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is a good approach in the sense, and also it is actually going to, let's just say, it's going to make a lot of people happy seeing that how Sonic and movies, so Sonic has like ruined the fans expectation. I think that these will be like uh, prevented
So the idea
more
here is
rapidly.
that
Yeah,
now that PlayStation are keeping the productions in house and making sure that the games that are coming out is definitely going to be of quality, is what you're saying, right? Because they're going to have
Yeah,
more care to the actual established
the
lore
authentic.
and whatever
Exactly.
styles
The
and
authenticity.
the
Yeah, the
authenticity. Yeah.
authenticity. Yeah. So basically, you know what, PlayStation obviously, if they have their own production company, they will work. So like, just say they're making Last of Us movie and or Uncharted movie, they will be closely working with Naughty Dog, and people at Naughty Dog will be able to point out things that needs to be pressed in the movie that fans really love. So that will make the movie perfect, and also keep the bars of expectation really high among the
All right.
community of that fan base. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's
So I
really
think that
good. That's good news, I suppose. Yeah.
exactly.
We're gonna get mm, we can basically be rest assured that games coming that belong under Sony goes stay true to the quality and the
Exactly.
fidelity.
The fidelity. That's the word I was looking for, actually.
So on to our next topic, which is that EA comes out and shows off the next generation of Frostbite, and I saw the video. It's pretty cool. There's all
And
this
bizarre.
hair technology and all that. It kind of reminded me, Xbox 360 when they were revealing it. They were showing like the depth of the next gen graphics, and the
Is that
first
they showed Metal Gear, right? They
it's not.
showed off Metal Gear.
No. There's no. It wasn't Metal Gear. It was actually what I suppose was like some kind of tech build for Gears of War, except
Oh,
at the
okay.
time it didn't look like anything like the end product Gears of War would look like. But
Okay.
they were in a city, and there were the Gears of War vehicles, and people were getting off. And what they really showed off was the fact that the characters had hair, and they had
Mm-hmm.
what looked like an early rendition of individual hairs and all that. So it really
Yeah.
reminded me of that tech demo that they kind of showed off to show off the Xbox 360 capabilities and strength.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
seeing this tech, I'm like, yeah, it's all well and good that you're showing this part of it, but it would be great to
Use
tell.
it.
Yeah, like the real problem that we've been seeing coming out of EA is that developers who are not DICE and not making a Battlefield game using the Frostbite engine has been a nightmare for them. rather
Oh,
than
yeah. Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than
True.
seeing the new tech and the fact that the hair is amazing and we can look at this realistic hair, how about just rest assuring that the new version actually has all these support for RPG games and
Exactly. Exactly.
more functionality for the developers.
Exactly. You take Rage Engine for example. It's the most flexible engine that available to the developers out there. It's like it has everything that an engine should have. It can make bigger worlds, and it has all the capability it needs. So that's how an engine should be. Actually, it has less glitches, and obviously Rockstar has a huge resource, and compared to EA, I think that EA has been in the industry for God knows how long, and they should have all the resource they need, and they're still releasing shitty games, and I don't see why the point. But it actually looks kind of cool and all. It gets me excited to see how the next gen is going to look like. PS5 and Xbox 2. This is how it's going to be like action. But still, all these they are not actually telling the stories that needs to be told.
Indeed.
Exactly. So I think that they
It's
really need to
exciting
look
that
on that part.
their next Frostbite engine is capable of doing realistic hair and all that, and
Yeah, yeah.
it looks like it's going to be really powerful. But I'm not sure what they were trying to show off with this, but I think a lot of the true like hardcore gamer fans are aware of the problems the other development studios under EA is having with the current Frostbite engine, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just assurances that the new build is now coming out and it has all these features that really help RPG or sport or racing genres to flourish underneath that engine, that would be more of a powerful reveal than showing us hair. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Yeah,
I
that's
wasn't
true.
too excited here seeing the hair. I was.
Yeah, no, I actually added this topic because I really wanted to get your perspective on as a developer. Actually, for the context, Bhupati was supposed to be joining us, but for some reason he couldn't join us. So yeah, I was actually expecting Bhupati's opinion on this, but still, you being a developer, it actually makes sense what you actually said. It actually, all these tools and things powerful and yada yada, but still, it doesn't make the workplace flexible for the developers who actually work on it.
Yeah, so long as the platform is actually easy to use and develop all these other genres, that's all we need Frostbite to become, because right now we just hear those nightmare stories where they just couldn't get things to work on the current build, and that's all we need to hear from EA, really just saying that,
exactly.
We fixed all these issues, now we have these next gen RPG mechanics and next gen sports, can kick a ball more efficiently or whatever. Just tell me something, that reassures me that the developers are just going to have a good time with the new engine.
Good time developing, because it's so every other developer, even from a guy who just cleans up the assets or like creating the assets, all people are like trying to tell a story, just let them tell the story rather than fixing
so
the
long
shit.
As the tool that allows them to tell the story is actually a really easy to use tool, we're all going to be happy. I think even your employees are going to be happy. So that's all we needed to hear from the announcement on Frostbite.
True.
Sadly, we didn't hear that, but let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah,
which is George R.R. Martin from Software. So they've been in some kind of talks or something. But basically, there's been a rumor that said that From Software and George R.R. Martin are in talks to make some kind of fantasy RPG game, open world.
Well,
that rumor went, and then there's been no confirmation of this. It's more like speculation, and then. George R.R. Martin pretty much tweeted saying that he didn't say who, but he said he went to Japan to consult on a game. He tweeted that out. So he didn't say he didn't give any specifics, but he did just say he went and he consulted on a game in Japan. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's From Software, definitely.
Well, this is the thing. So, but the great thing about Codename, it has been codenamed for Great Rune. The best part about for being excited for this project is that George R.R. Martin's original Eisenfire vision wasn't properly executed in Game of Thrones, but because of the restrictions television has, but that doesn't apply for video games. Video games can be forest, can be epic, or whatever the things the original creative vision has intended to be. So basically, I think that George R.R. Martin has an expecable vision when it comes to these type of things, and especially combining From Software and Soulsport gameplay into that, it's going to like break so many boundaries that currently it has, all the titles it has released. So I think that it's pretty much safe to say that it gets me hyped.
I am hyped as well. I'm pretty excited to hear that that he is getting involved with the From Software games, because From Software has always, like, the games they have sent out have always been hits for the niche genre. They've been hit after hit after hit. People just like it and love it, and they keep remixing it and giving us a new twist. And they gave us Bloodborne, which was a nice twist. Then they completed the Dark Souls series, and then they gave us Sekiro, and Sekiro yet again revamped the combat, and it was great. Now we hear that they're in talks with George R.R. Martin on it's amazing.
It totally, I think that I think that they are going to add an easy mode this time.
I don't think so. Oh my God.
I don't think so. No, please don't.
I think it's going to be like the fans would just love From Software to just stick to their guns and
Exactly.
and just do what Japanese game developers do. Just don't
True.
listen to Western game developers or their opinions or anything. Like journalists.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, they just completely ignore them. They're like, yeah, whatever these guys say, fuck them. And they just continue because they know they ultimately what they know is that they made this game. They have a huge fan base and the fans love it. And that's what they actually gauge. Like if the fans had an issue with Sekiro, they'll be taking that feedback and just, taking that feedback and just making sure their next game is even better. They don't care what industry journalists and industry veterans and whoever has anything to say about Sekiro's difficulty. I don't think they would listen to it. I just think they just ignore it. I get that.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That's true.
Some people say it's a weakness of the Japanese game industry, but sometimes I just think it's amazing. It's just amazing that they're like, right. Here's another game, which is exactly what we've been doing plus more.
A good example of American imperialism.
I just love it. It's almost like games journalists might as well be screaming into a void.
Yeah.
So long as it comes to Japanese games development companies,
Exactly. It clearly reflects that. It clearly reflects that they don't play the game to themselves. They just see other people play it and just rage over it, and they just assume that okay, this game is sad and this game needs an easy mode.
They're like they don't care. They have a huge fan base. They don't have anything to worry about. That?
Exactly.
And they know that. And that's the thing about when you actually look at like the games coming out of the East versus games coming out of the West, see a lot of flops and ups and downs in the West. But
basically, put it to simple, a From Software game with an easy mode is like a female without Y chromosome. It's basically
it's missing something, right? It's like its soul gets changed. I think if it has a difficulty, I think they used to do this thing, right? In Dark Souls, for example, some would consider easy mode is playing the mage.
Exactly.
Because the play style becomes much more easier since you fire really powerful little shots from range, and you never like risk yourself like 80% of the time when you play the mage character in Dark Souls games. So including something like that, that's cool. That's true. It's not a hardcore easy mode where you go and flick a switch in the options menu. Nothing like that. You just play a certain play style. If you like this play style, good for you. And
go ahead.
Yeah.
And also you have another option not to play it. Yeah, just anything's fine with you.
I've played Dark Souls games, right? And I've completed like only one of them, and Sekiro. And honestly, just because I couldn't complete the rest of them, I didn't feel like I didn't feel angry at that fact. I just felt like, oh man, this is just so tough, But I enjoyed what I played.
Exactly.
I'm fine with moving on. And some people are saying
it's not our type of game. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
People have their own type of taste and their genre, because I go with like story-driven games and you go with like, RPG, something JRPG like that. And, people have their own taste, and it's okay to have their own taste, but, it doesn't mean every game has to, be supportive of what their taste is like.
Honestly, if Sekiro was set in a different kind of style, from Japan and samurais and all that, I might not have completed that game. It's just my love for that, that aesthetic and the whole fact that I'm this ninja and Japan and all that. It just pushed me forwards. I just wanted to see more lore, more Japan, more sakura trees.
So basically, for the audience, Achila really hates a PlayStation. He literally hates PlayStation.
Yeah,
and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens when Ghost of Tsushima releases on PS4.
Oh my god! Oh man! I think that's when I buy the PlayStation, 5 or whatever.
Oh god!
I'll do whatever I can to get a PlayStation, because that Ghost of Tsushima. God, the weeb in me screams. Why isn't this coming for PC? God damn it.
Sony, man, Sony. All right, so that concludes our conversation, I suppose. And E3 is right around the corner.
Time.
Yeah, and also it's the best time to say that look forward to our next podcast, because next podcast is going to be all about contortion. We're going to talk about contortion. We're going to sleep about contortion. We're going to eat contortion, and so much stuff to talk about. We're going to
really break it down, right?
Yeah. So look forward to that. And it goes without saying that E3 is right around the corner. We are like really hyped to see what the studios are going to offer. And so basically that's from what's going to come out from my end. Yeah, and what about you, Achila? Are you excited for E3?
Yeah, I am. Just looking forward to it. And as always, I'll be watching it with a couple of friends, definitely over the live stream. That's how I always do it. So we'll definitely be covering all the great hot news that comes out of E3 on our podcasts. And as we said, really looking forward to discussing contortion next week. And we have more than just the two of us, I'm thinking, for next week's podcast. So that's it.
Yeah, Bhupan needs to be here. Bhupan needs to be there for next week. So we are going to kidnap him and just tie him and just, put him against a mic and just, speak.
Make him talk. We'll make him talk.
Make him talk. All right.
Then. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stay tuned or check our other episodes, and make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon and share your thoughts on the comment section down below. We'd really like to hear your opinions on our topics, and it always makes us smile.
Exactly. True.
All right then. See you guys. Good night.
Bye.